Everyone, I'm Dino Bidala, and welcome to tonight's Dino Bidala Show on Sirius XM Channel 127, Tuesday, September 7th. Back from my vacation, which was destroyed on some level by the GOP overturning Roe versus Wade through their Supreme Court, at least temporarily, and imposing extreme religious law. It was remarkable to see this on vacation while we watch the Taliban on one hand in Afghanistan pledging, unbelievably, but pledging to protect the rights of women, while in Texas, they are literally taking rights of women away as if it is pre-1973 Roe versus Wade, and they have no qualms about it. A few weeks ago, I wrote an article for MSNBC about how the GOP is talking about women's rights in Afghanistan, and I'm like, well, why don't you also talk about women's rights in America? In fact, why don't you start here? And all these right-wing publications attacked me, from Fox News, the Federalist, the Catholic League, all these people saying I equated the GOP with the Taliban. Actually, I didn't. I actually said in the article, the GOP is not as bad as the Taliban, which is nothing to be proud of. When your standard is the Taliban, don't be proud. But I was trying to be fair. But in not one of those articles, when they attacked me, did they say, oh, Dean's got it wrong. We don't want to turn our extreme religious beliefs into the law of the land. Nowhere did they say that. They were just upset that in the same article I said the Taliban, and I mentioned the GOP. They're doing it. They're not hiding it. Folks, this is not going to end with banning abortion. The GOP literally wants to turn the United States of America into the Christian version of Saudi Arabia, and not the real Christian version where it's like in Matthew, I was hungry, you gave me something to eat, you were a stranger, I welcome you in. No, this perverted Christianity on the right, which is not even Christianity, it's about oppressing women. And that's what they have in common with the Taliban. It's using extreme religious beliefs to oppress and dominate women. So it will not end with just abortion. But let's be very clear. The goal is zero abortion. Zero. In March, in Arkansas, Governor Asa Hutchinson signed a law which banned abortion from day one, except in the case of medical emergency. So even in rape and incest, no abortion whatsoever. Women forced to carry the rapist's fetus to term, or it's a crime to help her get an abortion. Literally, that was a law. That was held up by the courts. The one in Texas gives you 6 weeks, which is still unconstitutional, immoral, and repressive, but 6 weeks to get an abortion if you're raped or the victim of incest. That's not you're a victim of incest, like you're essentially raped by a family member, and you're supposed to ask a family member to help you get an abortion, and you only have a 2-week window that you might even know you're pregnant to get there. This is grotesque. This is a crime against humanity garbage. This is dangerous. But they're not going to end there. The GOP's been telling us for years, and I've been writing about it, their goal is Christian Sharia law. They always say Muslims, we want to impose Sharia law, which is essentially law based on the Quran. We don't, not in the United States of America at least. In Saudi, yes, but not here. They've been telling it in 2008. Mike Huckabee, running for president, made it very clear that our laws should comport or agree with the Bible. He said literally we cannot change the Bible, but we can change the Constitution to reflect the Bible. No hiding it. Rick Santorum, 2012, running for president, said the same things. You've had other Republicans say the same things over and over and over. That's their goal. That's what the party's about. They don't even hide it. I think too often on the left we go, they're not literal. They're literal. They mean this. This is not a joke. They really want to turn a perversion of the Bible into the laws of our land, imposed on all of us. Doesn't matter what your faith is or if you have no faith. Doesn't matter. You have to live under their religious oppressive regime. That's what they want. And we're seeing the GOP, and there's a truism now, which I'm starting this truism, from now on repeat it. The GOP never gets more reasonable. The GOP only gets more radical. Repeat after me. The GOP never gets more reasonable. The GOP only gets more radical. We see this with abortion. Years ago, there was always 3 exceptions for abortion: rape, incest, the life of the mother. Well, they're down to 1. And they don't even call it the life of the woman who is pregnant. They call it medical emergency. No rape, no incest exception. And newsflash, Republicans like Virgil Goode from Virginia and other Republicans now say they want no exception for the life of the mother, because in their view, they're both lives, the mom or the baby. In their view, it's a baby at day 1. So they can't choose which life should be preserved. That's God's will. God's will is great. I'm down with God's will, but that's not the basis for American law, God's will. That's outrageous. So that's where they're going. So once they ban abortion, do you think they're going to be done? They're going to sit back and go like, we did it. We imposed our religious beliefs on that issue. No. Next, they're going to ban birth control. They're doing it right now. They had a debate in Missouri a few months ago, almost to unfund any birth controls they view as stopping conception through Medicaid, and then ended up not happening in the state. But Rick Santorum has said you have to overturn Griswold versus Connecticut, which is a famous Supreme Court case, which says the state can interfere in a married couple's right to have birth control. He wants that gone. You have Republicans in just last year, Trump had a regulation, no more paying for any kind of birth control if you have any moral objection to it if you're an employer. This is where they're going. That was upheld by the Supreme Court, by the way, last year. So next it's going to be banning birth control they don't approve. So first, they're not going to let you have control of your body as a woman. Second, you're not going to let you have control of your body in terms of any kind of contraception they don't approve of. Then where do they go? Next, they come for the LGBTQ community. They come for the gays because it plays well for their base. Look, do you think their views on marriage equality have changed? No, not really. The ones who are very religious, very conservative, those are the ones running the party. That may be some younger conservatives, but these radical right-wingers, they still believe it's an abomination. And they want to overturn marriage equality. And they might well do that because you would say that's outrageous. Well, who would have thought in 2021, in 2021, women have less reproductive freedom than in 1973 when Roe versus Wade became the law of the land? That's what's happened now. They'll wait. They don't care how many years. Their religious beliefs are not going to change. Rick Santorum has said that. Mike Huckabee said that. We don't update our beliefs. No, they just impose them. So they're going to wait to overturn marriage equality. They might even try to overturn Lawrence versus Texas, Supreme Court decision in the 2000s, which said that any laws that criminalize gay behaviors, they called it, or homosexual behaviors, the way they actually termed it, any laws that make it a crime for sodomy are unconstitutional. Well, what's to stop them from then returning to that? Because they still view people being gay as an abomination. That hasn't changed. And again, there might be some younger Republicans who are down with it, and they're slightly more human. But the older ones who run things, they're not. Do not dismiss them. They are literal. They are telling you what they want to do. They are telling you they want our Constitution to reflect their interpretation of the Bible. They're not going to stop with this. They're going to ban abortion completely. They have their choice. Then birth control. Then depriving the LGBTQ community from, first, a fundamental right like marriage, and then ultimately criminalizing them. If they can, they will do that. We're going to fight back. That's where they're heading. They do want to make America the Christian version of Saudi Arabia. Don't dismiss this. This is another sign of the white nationalist fascist movement that is the GOP. Getting people riled up over religion is very effective, and this is what they're doing. So we'll talk about that more on my show today, and also one of the most alarming parts of the Texas law, which Justice Sotomayor called out in her dissent to the case last week, which is really alarming. We'll talk about that more on my show tonight. My show's live 6 to 9 p.m. on SiriusXM. Again, if you don't have SiriusXM, go to the website. There are free trials. Check it out. Join the conversation. We got a lot of great people on this side here. They need more of us. Join our family. Be part of our sisters and brothers. If you want progress, stay active. Thanks for tuning into the preview of tonight's Dino Bidala Show.